Hello, lovely viewers. Welcome to my channel. I am Anna. I hope your day is so well. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. On season 29 of The Bachelor, fans saw Grant Ellis fall in love and get engaged to Juliana Pasquarosa. On their last week in the Dominican Republic, Grant got down on one knee and popped the question in a beautiful proposal. Since then, the two have been keeping fans updated with their lives as an engaged couple and sharing their plans for the future. Recently, the couple responded to rumors that they had split, and now Juliana has taken to social media to reveal why she hasn't been posting about Grant. In a fan Q&A on her Instagram story, Juliana responded to a comment about keeping their relationship private, saying, "I don't think I'll ever be the type to overshare my relationship." She continued, writing, "I feel bad that people think they have a right to know everything just because I was on a show, and I want to let you all in, but I'm also just getting used to sharing anything about my life with all of you. Give me some grace." Another fan asked if she finds the made-up stories about her and Grant funny or annoying, and the Bachelor Nation star replied, "It's the former. We stay laughing," she said. "The people who truly know me, friends/fam, know what's going on in my life and in my heart at all times." Juliana also shared how she deals with online critics and negative comments on social media. Opened up saying you really have to pay attention to what's going on in your real life. I think, people online are so mean. They're keyboard warriors, they're faceless, and they will say whatever they want to try and hurt you. And I think it's really important to just remember that they don't know you and their opinions do not matter. Juliana then shared her piece of advice that she uses to help cope with critical comments. She said, "You really have to just pay attention to the people that love you and know you, because those are the opinions in your life that matter. As a reminder, here at Bachelor Nation, we don't tolerate any sort of online bullying." We appreciate Juliana opening up, and we're continuing to send her love. Bachelor alum Juliana Pasquarosa is figuring out how to navigate her relationship with fiancé Grant Ellis while also making time for herself. When replying to a Monday, May 12 Instagram story Q&A about how she finds the balance with prioritizing yourself and your relationship, Juliana, 28, admitted, "Currently working on this one. I was single for pretty much 7 years before I went on The Bachelor," Juliana explained, sharing a mirror selfie from the gym. "I'm stubborn, I am a bit of a control freak, and I am very particular on how I spend my time, so it's been interesting to learn to let someone into that." Juliana accepted a proposal from Grant, 31, during the season 29 finale of The Bachelor, which aired in March. Before proposing, Grant cut things off with runner-up Lytia, who said she would have a lot of questions if she were Juliana based on what the lead had allegedly promised. Grant apologized to Lytia, 31, in the live portion of the finale, but he later told Us Weekly that she said a lot of things that he didn't align with. "I'm not going to sit up there and argue with her on stage about what she thought I said. But I think that having a little more clarity, when you are the Bachelor, you do see your final two contestants as somebody that could be your wife," he exclusively told us in March. That's where some confusion came into play. There's room for interpretation when things are said off camera. At that point in time, I can't really say much. I'm not going to argue. I just have to accept whatever the conditions are and apologize and let her feel how she feels, because she's in a tough situation and she's hurt. I understand. Bachelor Grant is down to adjust to life in Boston with Juliana. I just want to see her happy. As Grant and Juliana move forward, the couple opened up about their plans to move to Boston. Juliana recalled it being a really tough conversation between her and Grant about relocating to her hometown. "He knew that I am very close with my family and that it would be hard for me to move away from them. It doesn't mean that we're not going to go to Houston and visit your family either, but you also have family in New Jersey, so the move felt pretty easy and pretty straightforward." Ellie told us, noting that the pair are opting for a long engagement since they have to live life together before walking down the aisle. We have to do some normal things where it feels exciting to plan that. We are coming down from such a crazy high right now. I don't want to just try and keep it going. I really want to plateau a bit and just live normally for a minute. And then we can start planning and have fun and do all those things. Grant Ellis and Juliana Pasquarosa have stayed out of the limelight since getting engaged during the Bachelor season 29, and it could portend bad things about their relationship. From the beginning, there were plenty of dark clouds over the newly engaged couple. The path hasn't been easy for them from the start. While Grant, 31, was attracted to Juliana, 28, from the moment they met, their emotional connection wasn't immediate. Due to past heartbreak in her last relationship, Juliana struggled to let her walls down, even after she and Grant fell in love. The way The Bachelor season 29 ended made it hard for Grant and Juliana to openly celebrate their love. During the season finale, Grant's runner-up, Lytia Gar, accused Grant of aggressively misleading her. As if that wasn't bad enough, there were rumors about Grant's sister disapproving of the relationship. Small controversies kept getting in the way of Grant and Juliana's happiness. It could explain why the two haven't been seen together in public often since getting engaged. Unlike many past Bachelor Nation couples, Grant and Juliana have avoided the spotlight. Does it say something about the relationship? When The Bachelor season 29 premiered, Grant seemed decisive at first. He quickly identified the winner of his first impression rose and seemed to know exactly what he was looking for. It wasn't long before it all started to unravel. Grant changed his mind wildly from one day to the next. As the season progressed, he often sent home his favorites, while keeping women he barely seemed to notice. He didn't seem to know what he wanted or what he was looking for. Season opened with Grant giving his first impression rose in a solo date to Alex Good, 28. They seemed to connect, but then he turned around and forgot about her for the rest of the season. 31-year-old contestant Dina Lupancu seemed to be his favorite until her hometown date didn't go perfectly. Unlike his other relationships, his relationship with Juliana was more of a slow burn. It progressed as organically as possible for an unscripted dating show relationship. Though Grant seemed decisive in the beginning, that image quickly fell apart as he was revealed to be unsure of himself. During The Bachelor season 29 finale, Grant's runner-up, 31-year-old Lytia Gar, told host Jesse Palmer that Grant led her to believe he was going to pick her. She even alleges Grant said he wanted to end the season early because he was so sure she was his person. This put Juliana in an impossible position. If Lytia's allegations are true, it could mean Grant isn't as sure about their relationship as she'd want him to be. Grant didn't refute any of Lytia's claims during The Bachelor season 29 finale. He let her say whatever she wanted to at that moment. Since then, he responded to her allegations in an exclusive with Us Weekly. In the interview, Grant said he strongly disagreed with Lytia's take on what happened between them. But I let her speak her truth and her piece, Grant said, adding, I'm not going to sit up there and argue with her on stage about what she thought I said. Juliana even wished Lytia well, saying, I think the only reaction I have is that we are two different individuals, and we have to go through this process very uniquely and very true to who we are. Grant took his fiance's side with an Instagram post. The post features a photo of the happy couple seated side by side during the finale. Grant's love letter to Juliana reads, You handle yourself with so much grace and compassion. You are what every woman should aspire to be, and you show me that every day. The caption ends with, That's why I won. Things seemed to be going well for the couple when Grant announced he'd be moving to Boston to be with her. Before joining the cast of The Bachelorette season 21 and The Bachelor season 29, Grant lived in Houston, Texas. He realized her relationship with her close-knit family would make it difficult for her to leave New England. Though he decided to keep his Houston home, him moving seemed to be a great sign. Since then, the two have rarely been spotted together, even though Grant has made multiple public appearances. Though Grant has been posting to social media regularly, his last Instagram post about Juliana was at the end of April. Nonetheless, the photos he shared didn't seem recent. It's in stark contrast to two recent Bachelor Nation couples. The Bachelor 28's Joey Graziadei and Kelsey Anderson are always posting about their relationship, as are Joan Vassos and Chalk Chappell from The Golden Bachelorette Season 1. Grant and Juliana's absence from the public could be coincidental, but it could also be a bad sign. Sometimes the passage of time is immeasurably slow. Time can be measured in epochs and geological shifts. There are moments in our history that make time feel almost incomprehensible in its span, like that fun fact you'd find under a Snapple cap. Cleopatra lived closer in time to the moon landing than she did to the building of pyramids of Giza. Time moves in mysterious and imperceptible ways. But then, you remember, somehow this season has moved into the most intimate and important episode of the whole season, but I know absolutely nothing about any of these women, and someone who has never gotten a one-on-one is headed to hometowns. Are you fucking kidding me? Everything is upside down. And I don't know about you, but much like Carolina, I'm not having a good time. Before the episode started, I tried racking my brain for romantic moments, signs of true chemistry and passion between Grant and his remaining Lady Tustance, and I was coming up empty. This season feels sterile in a way. Part of it is Grant telling every woman that she's beautiful and he can see her as a wife, not always his, but a wife. I guess instead of that predator vision, Grant has wife vision, where he scans every woman over the age of 25 who comes across his vision for her wife abilities and pictures her with a veil on. Wife detected. The other thing giving this season a really cold quality is, has anyone said, "I'm falling for you"? Again, I racked my brain to remember who had said those magic hedging words, and I could only come up with images of the women saying, "I really like Grant. You really like him? This isn't the 7th grade mermaids under the sea spring dance. This is The Bachelor." Let's get into it. We start the episode with some Captain America and the Winter Soldier big-ass text letting us know we're in Edinburgh, Scotland. We somehow missed the morning meal where all the women had some haggis. Zoe starts the episode by saying she hopes she gets a one-on-one because she's the only one who hasn't had one, and her hometowns are next week. Grant says that the vibe in Scotland is exactly what he needs. Grey and cloudy, huh? Everyone keeps saying the rain is romantic, but this is drizzling rain. That's only if you're cuddled up in a blanket with someone and you're eating microwave popcorn watching a rom-com. But even that is like a 6 out of 10 romantic. More romantic would be getting caught in a downpour on a hot summer day, racing to the front porch, and then making out. That's a 10 out of 10. Leave your rain rankings in the comments below. This week there will be 2 one-on-one dates and 1 group date. Zoe has crossed all her fingers and toes, and nope, it goes to Juliana, who also hasn't gotten a one-on-one. Juliana gets the princess. Date, shopping, princess cosplay, awkward dancing, so let's just put her in the final 2, please. I guess we had to wait for the princess date until we reached a castle-based European city. Madrid is more plaza-based. Juliana races out to the lawn of the hotel, and Grant waits to take her in a helicopter. The Lady Tedistants all watch them take off, and Carolina whines, "I'm not jealous, they're gonna have so much fun," and Ellis says, "You went on a private jet, babe." It's almost as if Carolina is constantly forgetting what has happened to her on this television show, and definitely doesn't see anything that's happened to her as a positive. I'm at such a disadvantage because I got to kiss Grant in Las Vegas. That's bad luck. I'm not just saying Juliana is making it to the final 2 because she gets the princess date, but also because Grant and Juliana are positively giddy around each other. He's really attracted to her. At one point she says, "I'm literally a princess today," and he goes, You're a princess always. Yeah. He's into her. Grant also says in a confessional that he feels like the Fresh Prince. The Fresh Prince was like a metaphorical princehood, and he never wore a kilt. Okay, sure. The only other interesting thing that happens on this date is when Juliana finally gets her princess gown. Well, it's not a princess gown. It's totally a diamonds are a girl's best friend pink gown. Can we be themically coherent? Or nah? She enters the final ball and greets Grant with, "Hi, boyfriend." He gives her a tennis necklace. So what? Was this a diamonds are a girl's best friend themed date? Or castle? Or Bridgerton? Pick a theme? They are a couple. They go together. When it comes to the emotional conversation in the evening portion of the date, this is the first time really we're learning about Juliana. She says that she's not all nice and smiles and is happy all the time. She's had difficulties in her life because she had what sounds like an immediate family member struggling with addiction. You can almost see Grant light up when he realizes he has this in common with Juliana and starts to talk with her about how much he wants to be there for her because she dealt with the same thing. Please forgive me for the very dated and potentially problematic language I'm about to use, but Grant is a real Captain Save-A-Ho. But I think the hoe in question is himself. Every conversation about the future and family and a partnership he has comes down to two things. He wants to carry the weight for his partner, and he wants to rewrite or reimagine himself and his upbringing with his own family. That is a lot. Both of my parents are doctors who treat addiction, so the language of recovery and the dangers of addiction were just as familiar to me as a kid as Dr. Seuss. Forgive me for bringing up another problematic king. Grant seems to be moving through a few of the archetypes of the children of addicts. His lone wolf vision of himself seems to be a little bit like that of the lost child, and the way he wants to build the perfect family sounds a little like the superhero. This is all a lot, and I would love to hear what he's done in his own life, to seek some therapy or attend some recovery meetings for family members of people with addiction, because it all seems to be resting on, I'm going to get married and build my own family and rewrite my past. That's a lot. And hometowns are next week. There are no roses on any of the dates for some weird fucking reason, but Juliana is getting a hometown date, no doubt. They get fireworks. I'm ready to call it. Next is the group date. It's Serafiana, Alexei, Carolina, Dina, and Zoe. I'm sorry, putting Zoe on this date was nasty work. It's the Highland Fair, or whatever. It's clear there were some small activities planned, then a big finale competition, but before that can go down, Carolina runs off because she's just so upset. The other women are pissed. There's a moment where they have a tarot reading. The reader asks Carolina her sign, and she goes, "Why don't you guess?" You gotta go home. You're being rude to the local talent. Everyone else keeps saying, "I'm here. I have a positive attitude. She's being a damsel in distress." And they're not wrong. Their mistake is thinking this is a have the best attitude competition when it's really get the most time with the lead competition. So Carolina goes and sits by herself and, I don't know, look out over the loch. Grant stops the fun to go check on her. See? Save-A-Ho. Carolina's mistake is that she can't turn off her bad attitude when the lead comes over. She can't shift into, "I'm struggling, but it's all worth it because it's you," when Grant just really needs her to say something along those lines. He calls out that she sounds sarcastic and like she doesn't want him to ask her what's wrong. A man that will stop what he's doing to ask you what's wrong when you're performatively pouting? Girl, that's the dream. She mostly can't handle that she got an early one-on-one and can't see relationships progressing. In the grand scheme of the season, it wasn't that early, though. They each want the other one to just say, I'm going home, or I'm sending you home, but they're not allowed to say that. Also, Carolina can't admit defeat just to be sent home. Grant says at some point this needs to be behind them. They agree to have a good rest of the day, but that romantic rain comes back, so the rest of the day is canceled. The women have formed a hive mind against Carolina, led by Dina, who feels betrayed that she defended Carolina. The women keep framing it as Carolina doing this on purpose, and I don't think she really is. I think a few things are probably happening that are classic bachelor Carolina. Probably thought she had this in the bag at the beginning of the season. She's probably not great at connecting with other women of her equivalent hotness, and she's getting rewarded by the lead for doing this. She doesn't see what she's doing as great against the other women because it's working on Grant. They could do the same thing. Grant takes the ladies aside to talk about hometowns, but that's insane and makes no sense. Serafiana is like, I really like him, and we're talking about hometowns. Everyone, get a fucking grip. At a certain point, Dina lashes out at Carolina and accuses her of not respecting the other women and not being accountable. And I'm sorry, Law and Order, Bachelor, these are just not the correct arguments. Carolina is under no obligation to respect anyone or be accountable, and if you get played, that's your own fault for defending the seasoned villain. The other women demand that Carolina be grateful and not monopolize. Grant's time. Carolina got a real laugh out of me when she said, I didn't know it was going to start raining. Serafiana says she can't deal with Carolina's one-liners, and I don't think Carolina is that funny, y'all. You are just too wound up. At the end of the night, Dina asks Carolina how her night went, and Carolina. We're wrapping up here for today, but the excitement of trending gossip doesn't stop here. We'll be back with new surprises very soon, so stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe.